Congratulations on the purchase of your new Quadrifire fireplace insert pellet burning appliance. Quadrifire has the finest line of pellet burning products in the nation. You can expect many enjoyable years of safe and environmentally responsible operations from your pellet appliance. Please take the time to read and understand the written manual that came with your Castile insert pellet appliance. It contains important information not covered in this DVD. When installing an insert appliance, you have several options unique to insert appliances. Face trim is the most visible option. The fact that you will need to install the appliance with insulation underneath as well as to the sides is sometimes overlooked. Consult your owner's manual for details on insulation requirements. First, make sure your appliance has been properly unpacked and installed, and all safety requirements are met. Pay particular attention to clearance to combustibles, floor protection, venting, and mantle requirements. Check the movement of the fuel adjustment rod located in the hopper. It should slide up and down after loosening the thumb screw at the top. If it doesn't, loosen or tighten the set screw at the bottom as needed. Fill the hopper with fuel and set the thermostat to its lowest level. Then plug the appliance into a standard, properly grounded household circuit. When you first plug in the appliance, a blower will come on for approximately 18 minutes, even though the thermostat is not calling for heat. Open the cast door and locate the heat output control switch. It's on the lower right side of the insert. Switch it to the high setting by pushing the top of the switch in. Right below it is the reset button. The red call light is located on the top of the heat output control switch box. Adjust the thermostat to its highest setting. The red call light located on the top of the heat output control switch box will be on. This indicates the thermostat is calling for heat. For your first fire, it will be necessary to fill the feed system and allow it to begin dropping pellets. Press the reset button once every 2 minutes until pellets start to drop into the fire pot. Then press the reset button one more time. The reset button resets the appliance startup timer and will only work when the thermostat is calling for heat and the red call light is on. The appliance will continue to run as long as the thermostat is calling for heat. The first time you use it, let the appliance burn for approximately 15 minutes on high. Then set the thermostat to the desired room temperature and adjust the heat output control switch to the desired setting. When the thermostat is satisfied, the call light goes out and the appliance goes into the shutdown cycle. The feed system turns off, but an exhaust blower continues to run, burning and exhausting the fuel remaining in the fire pot. As you can see here, the open flame has gone out and burning embers are blowing out of the fire pot. The appliance is like most modern furnaces. When the thermostat calls for heat, your appliance will automatically light and deliver heat. When the room is up to temperature and the thermostat is satisfied, the red call light will go off and the appliance will shut down. The appliance will even automatically relight after a power failure. During each ignition cycle, it is normal to see some smoke in the firebox. The smoke will stop once the fire starts. The Castile insert's heat output switch is on the lower right front corner of the insert behind the door. It has 3 output settings to allow your stove to cycle on and off at a comfortable rate for you. The high setting will run the unit at maximum heat output and blower speed. The low setting will run the unit at minimum heat output and blower speed. When the thermostat calls for heat, the appliance will start on the high setting for the first 4 minutes, then automatically switch to the burn rate that it's set to. Fuel pellets are made from sawdust or wood-like byproducts. They're commonly found in either 1/4 inch or 5/16 inch diameters, and in many varying lengths. Pellet length may even vary by lot from the same manufacturer. This variation means that the feed rate of your appliance will need to be adjusted occasionally. Extensive testing has determined that shelled field corn is an excellent economical alternative to pellet fuel in some regions. Because of the high moisture content in corn, wood pellets need to be mixed with the corn to allow automatic ignition. To start with, use a blend of 50% corn and 50% wood pellets. The feed rate may require a slight adjustment. If you're successful with automatic operation, try a blend of 80% corn and 20% pellets. Pellets are only needed to assist with lighting of the fuel. In cases where the stove runs full time, 100% corn will work after starting the fire with a small handful of wood pellets in the fire pot. Proper storage of your pellets and alternative fuel is very important. Always store your fuel in a dry and convenient area away from all combustibles. Depending on fuel type and moisture content, your fire may need adjusting. Adjusting the fire properly is very important. A properly adjusted fire is more efficient. It gives you more heat per pound of fuel and generates far less smoke. The fuel adjustment rod is inside your fuel hopper. To adjust it, loosen the clamping wing nut just enough to move the rod in about 1/4 inch increments. All flame height adjustments should be made with the heat output control set on high. After each adjustment, wait 10 minutes for it to take effect. A properly adjusted fire has a short active flame pattern that extends out of the fire pot 4 to 6 inches. If the fire is too low, it may not stay hot enough, and the thermocouple will not sense enough heat, which will cause the stove to shut down prematurely. When the fire is too small and rarely peaks above the top of the fire pot, like this one, then you will need to adjust the feed rod upwards. If the glass is getting black, the fire is probably too high, and the fire pot will have to be cleaned more often. The heat exchangers and exhaust system will also need more frequent cleaning. If the fire has tall black flames with black tails and seems somewhat lazy, then the feed rate will need to be reduced. Minerals and materials in your pellets turn into glass, creating hard deposits called clinkers, which form at the bottom of the fire pot. The type and consistency of your ash and clinkers will vary with the type of fuel. We recommend that you clean your fire pot daily. If the fuel has a high mineral and ash content or you are burning shelled field corn, clean the fire pot more than once a day. To clean the fire pot, wait for the appliance to completely cool. Pull the fire pot cleanout rod and then slide it back to the closed position. Be certain the fire pot floor plate is fully closed when finished. If the floor plate appears to be stuck closed, scrape the floor plate while moving the cleaning rod out and in a few times. Never pull the rod when the appliance is operating, and always make sure it's fully closed before operating the appliance. About once a week, or as needed depending on fuel quality, stubborn clinker buildup must be firmly scraped and chipped out of the fire pot with a putty knife. At this point, you should empty the ash pan. To remove the ash pan, open the front door and slide the ash pan straight out. Empty it into a non-combustible container and reinstall the ash pan. Always assume that ashes are hot and dispose of them properly in a sealed metal container. Place the container in a safe area on a non-combustible surface. The amount of ash buildup in the fire pot will be a good guide to determine how often you should clean the heat exchangers. Typically, you should clean the heat exchangers at least once a week. This will keep your appliance burning at peak efficiency. Allow the appliance to cool completely, and there must be no hot ashes in the fire pot prior to cleaning. There are 2 heat exchange chambers. Each chamber is equipped with its own cleaning rod. To access the cleaning rods, open the front cast door. Both of the pull rods are located close to the face of the insert to the left and right side. To clean, pull the rods straight out approximately 10 inches. Move each rod in and out a couple of times to remove ash buildup on the outside of the exchanger tubes. It's recommended you clean the firebox once a month or after burning a ton of fuel. Allow the appliance to cool completely. There must be no hot ashes in the firebox prior to cleaning. To remove the baffle, open the front cast and glass doors. Slide the baffle to the left. Lift the baffle up and towards you. Remove the right cast fire brick and use a small vacuum hose attachment to clean the area, including the impellers of the exhaust blower. When you finish, reinstall the fire brick and baffle. Reinstall the top baffle, making sure it is seated all the way to the right side of the firebox. To the left and right of the firepot are two cleaning slides. Pull both slides out, one at a time, and use a small brush to sweep ash into the two open holes. Now, sweep the remaining ash from the firebox. Be sure the appliance is cold before cleaning the glass. To clean the glass, use a damp paper towel or any non-abrasive cleaner. Then use a dry towel to wipe off any streaks that may remain. Never use any type of abrasive cleaner on the plated surfaces. This is a good time to inspect the door latch and window seals. Ensure they're in good condition and seal tightly. A tight seal is important for the appliance to burn properly. Check the position of the thermocouple. Make sure it protrudes 1 inch into the firepot, and that the tip of the thermocouple is in contact with the end of the thermocouple cover. The exhaust system will need to be cleaned at least once each year or more often depending upon the ash content of your fuel. It should be inspected during the annual cleaning of the exhaust and venting system. To remove the sides of the Castile insert, loosen the screw on the top right corner directly under the cast top, but do not remove it. Press upward on the frame with your thumb to relieve pressure on the side. Then slide the side downwards. To clean the rest of the venting system, reach in and unlatch the trap door that is connected to the rear of the exhaust blower. Use a small vacuum hose attachment to clean the area. Close the trap door and relatch it. The convection blower is located at the rear of the insert. To clean it, remove the insert's left and right sides. This blower has two impellers, one on each side of the motor. They should be cleaned at least once each year. It requires no lubrication. For a more thorough cleaning, call a qualified dealer for an annual service call.